American Top 40.
Now the hit by the group whose lead singer finished in first place on the Ted Mack Amateur Hour when she was 7 years old. But it must have been easy for her because she'd already had 3 years' experience by that time, singing in her church choir and at recitals in her hometown of Atlanta. And she just kept right on singing. 20 years ago, one of Ted Mack's amateurs, today one of the pop music world's top professionals. Gladys Knight, and with the Pips, If I Were Your Woman.
If I were your woman, you were my woman.
That one dropped 9 points this week after reaching a peak last week at number 9. At number 18, If I Were Your Woman, Gladys Knight and the Pips. The countdown continues as we get closer to the top.
Number 17.
Now, the current hit by the vocal group that started out when the lead singer was 7 years old. It's not the Osmonds or the Jackson 5. This group has been singing together for 20 years now, before most of the Jacksons and the Osmonds were ever born. It's a family act that started in a church choir in Atlanta, Georgia. The lead singer got her feet wet when she was only 4 years old by taking first place on Ted Mack's Amateur Hour. When she was 7, she and her brother and their 2 cousins started singing together. And pretty soon they were the main attraction at their church's Sunday service. In their teens, they sang at school dances and occasional rock shows. Then, after graduation, they turned full-time professional. Now, about 10 years later, and 20 hits later, they're one of Motown's hottest acts. At number 20 this week, here are Gladys Knight and the Pips. Making hits for a long time, Gladys Knight and the Pips, third week on AT40, halfway up the chart with Neither One of Us.
It's from coast to coast.
Now I have the latest hit by the top vocal group that scored with a super hit back in 1967 and then spent the next few years apologizing for it. Their biggest hit before that was Every Beat of My Heart back in 1961. That went to number 6. Then in 1967, they recorded I Heard It Through the Grapevine and took it all the way to number 2 on the charts. The group thought they'd really hit the big time. But a year later, a solo artist on the same label released the same song, and this time it hit number 1. The singer, of course, was Marvin Gaye. And if that song had been a monster hit for the group, it was a mega monster for Marvin. In fact, it was such a huge hit for him that when the group went out to perform the song that was originally their smash, people would say, "Hey, come on, you're doing Marvin's song." Not exactly what they enjoyed hearing. Well, now, at number 22 this week, is a group that doesn't have to apologize to anybody for anything. Here's Gladys Knight and the Pips with On and On. Originally from Atlanta, Georgia, Gladys Knight and the Pips with a song written and produced by Curtis Mayfield. At number 22, third week on, that's On and On. This is Casey Kasem in Hollywood, an American Top 40.
Casey's Coast to Coast.